Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the From the Booth podcast. My name is Mike, your host, and today we got a bit of an emergency episode. So as probably you guys have seen, I already uploaded a video today. That video was already scheduled to be released today, so that was already up. But we're doing another upload today because of the breaking news that just happened. Ian Rappaport tweeting that the Saints and Broncos have finalized a deal on compensation, and sources say that New Orleans gets a first rounder and a second rounder, but we'll also have to give a pick back. Now, in his more recent tweets, he actually said that it would be a first rounder and a second rounder for Sean Payton and a third rounder. So that does mean that Sean Payton is going to be the new coach of the Denver Broncos. A huge. Oh, here we go. I'm getting more notifications. So this is huge news. This is insane stuff. The Sean Payton drama kind of this offseason was pretty fun to watch. To guess where he was going to go. Was he going to stay at Fox in the booth? But now he's going to be going to the Denver Broncos. He's going to be coaching Russell Wilson. So I think there's a lot to go there. But before we kind of get into that fully, I do want to mention there was some other news that I saw today, that the Texans did hire Demeco Ryans. Like I said in my last podcast video, they did end up hiring Demeco Ryans. So Demeco Ryans was hired for the Texans, and Sean Payton now goes to the Broncos. Which, seeing this tweet, I'm just seeing this now for the first time. It's unbelievable. Broncos spent today trying to hire Demeco Ryans again before he recommitted to the Texans. When he agreed to the terms with the Texans, they moved on and finalized Sean Payton. So maybe that's an indication that Demeco Ryans was their first option, and that they see Sean Payton as, I don't want to say the backup plan, because I mean that's a lot of compensation to go for the backup plan. But maybe Demeco Ryans was plan A, and then Sean Payton was plan B. Which for any of my guys' relationships out there, you know how clutch plan B can be. Wow, if I could have got through that joke, that would have been so much better. Anyways, Broncos hired Sean Payton. Texans hired Demeco Ryans. I'm just kind of scrolling through Twitter. I have my notifications on for Ian and Ari. First rounder that was really owned by the 49ers has been traded 3 times. San Francisco to Miami to move up for Trey Lance. Miami to Denver for Bradley Chubb. Now from Denver to New Orleans for Sean Payton. So a lot of cool stuff going on there. Wow. End up trading 3 firsts, 2 seconds, plus additional assets to get Russell and Sean Payton. Wow. You saw the Broncos do this last year with, like you said, Russell Wilson. They took a big swing for a big trade for the two most. I mean, everybody knows the two most important people on the team are coach and quarterback. And the Broncos have given up 3 firsts, 3 firsts, 3 seconds, and more for their coach and their quarterback. So let's hope it works out. All right. So let's kind of go ahead and get into. Let's see if Twitter has anything else to say. I'm just gonna go ahead and look up Sean Payton here and pull something up maybe while I talk. Yeah, I like this graphic right here. All right, so Sean Payton's the Bronco. Here's what I think this means. I think buy into your Russell Wilson stock is the first thing. I refuse to believe that Russell Wilson, the player, just completely fell off a cliff this year in Denver, and that he was bad and that he couldn't play quarterback anymore. I refuse to accept that. What I do think happened was that Nathaniel Hackett was in over his head. He didn't know how to be a great coach. Maybe he was a good play caller, but you could tell he just completely did not have control of that locker room. And I think it went over his head. And I think his style, like I said, in previous episodes, the Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett to lure Aaron Rodgers away from the Packers. And then when that didn't work out, they went and traded for Russell Wilson. So Nathaniel Hackett is much more suited for an Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback, not necessarily a Russell Wilson one. So I think that this is interesting. Also, you look at Sean Payton's resume. Obviously, he was the offensive coordinator in the Giants. He worked in Dallas, but he's most known for his time as the Saints head coach, where he won a Super Bowl with Drew Brees. I do think the Drew Brees Russell Wilson comparison is interesting, especially because when you look at their size, they're both smaller quarterbacks. So he kind of knows how to work with those smaller quarterbacks. Obviously, they play much differently, but I think that Sean Payton, not only is he going to help revitalize Russell Wilson's dormant career that happened last year, but he's going to bring a veteran leadership into that locker room. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to the playoffs a million times. He knows what's doing. And I think another interesting thing is you look at Sean Payton's tenure in New Orleans, and the reason that they didn't win more Super Bowls or more playoff games was because of the defense. The defense let him down a lot of the times, not so much in the end years of Drew Brees' career, but in the peak years, 2011, 2012, when they were really, really good offensively, it was their defense that let them down. So to step into Denver with that really, really good defense and to have a guy who Russell Wilson who can be a superstar quarterback, I think it makes the job very enticing for Sean Payton to want to step away from the Fox broadcast booth. Um, let's just see if there anything else. Yeah, Pat McAfee saying big swing. Um, yeah, everyone's just talking about the trade. I love that's good sports. He's the best. Um, but yeah, so Sean Payton to the Broncos, big moves, big moves. Let's talk about Demeco Ryans to the Texans. Like I said earlier, I did think that was going to happen. I didn't realize how much the Broncos were going after him until I was just reading these tweets. But in reading that, I mean, obviously he wanted to go to the Texans. Now you could say really cool for him to have this homecoming experience back to Houston. And I think again, a defensive guy with those young defensive pieces, a high draft pick, the Texans can get it turned around very quickly. I think. You saw with the Jaguars, they got their quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, and then they had a bad year with Urban Meyer, but then they got their coach, and the Jaguars, won a playoff game this year after having the first overall pick 2 years in a row. So I think if I'm a Texans fan, I am stoked. I love Demeco Ryans. I think he's done a great job in San Francisco. Obviously, there's no debating that. And if I'm a Niners fan, I'm upset, obviously, but you have to know that a guy of that pedigree was going to leave to go be a head coach. And if I'm a Broncos fan, yes, I'm excited for Sean Payton, but I'm very nervous because, like we've said, they've given up a lot of assets to go do that. So, really quick, I see Vic Fangio's trending. Is he going to go back to Denver? That would be really funny. Oh no, Vic Fangio might go back to Denver. Um, Broncos are in discussion. Man, 49ers in discussion. Anyway, so that's kind of this emergency episode. I just wanted to get it out for you guys so you guys could hear my thoughts and my opinions. Obviously, please do subscribe if you enjoy. I'll be having, at this point, double day uploads. I was going to upload segments of my last podcast episode today, but I guess I'll wait for tomorrow. I don't want to quadruple upload you guys today. But so I'll go ahead and get that out for you guys. And then if any other news breaks, I will get out a video as soon as I can. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your day.